You're listening to the Moon Griffon Show podcast on KPEL965.com.
News Talk 96.5 KPEL, Breaux Bridge, Lafayette, broadcasting from the Matthew James Tax Pros studios. Find them online at MatthewJamesTaxPros.com.
President Biden will soon talk about what's next. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, addressing the nation in an hour, the day after calling President-elect Trump to congratulate him and pledge a smooth transition at the White House.
The sentiment with that and everything else around here from Harris loyalists has shifted from Joe Biden's legacy as a selfless patriot is cemented because he stepped aside to let Harris beat Trump, to Joe Biden was so unpopular, his VP was doomed from the get-go.
Fox's Peter Doocy also reports the day after the vice president conceded defeat.
Kamala Harris can't just go off the grid because she is still the vice president for another 3 months. Her office today, though, is telling us she's going to have internal meetings and briefings with staff that are all closed press, so we do not expect to see her in the Rose Garden with President Biden.
Now, the Trump transition team is already on the move, planning the next administration. Fox's Bill Malugin reports from West Palm Beach, Florida.
These are some of the names being tossed around for some of the cabinet positions. For Chief of Staff, you're looking at maybe Susie Wiles or Brooke Rollins. For Secretary of Treasury, John Paulson, Scott Bessent. Secretary of State, Rick Grenell, Marco Rubio. Secretary of Defense, Senator Tom Cotton. More on him in a second. Other names being tossed out: Doug Burgum, Vivek Ramaswamy, Elon Musk, and then obviously RFK Jr.
Now, Senator Tom Cotton has turned down a job in the cabinet, taking his name out of consideration. Instead, the Republican wants a leadership role after the GOP won the Senate majority in the next Congress with 52 seats so far and leading in a race not called yet in Pennsylvania. A military commission judge has restored controversial plea deals at Guantanamo for 3 9/11 terror suspects, overruling Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin, who had voided the agreements that take the death penalty out of consideration. Brett Eagleson leads the group 9/11 Justice and tells Fox.
We have members of our community that are dying. We have parents who lost their sons and daughters on 9/11 that have since died and have not seen justice.
America's listening to Fox News.
You know, I'm a gun guy, Second Amendment guy, and I want to tell you about a family-owned company that I just love. It's Henry Repeating Arms. Now, they make more than 200 models of rifles, shotguns, revolvers right here in America. The quality's so good, they have a lifetime guarantee. The craftsmanship and smooth action, they are top-notch. I speak from experience. Every Henry I own, accurate right out of the box. They've all been reliable ever since. The best way to learn about Henry, get their free catalog. They'll send you free decals and a list of dealers where you are and a great newsletter. Just go to henryusa.com. That's one word, henryusa.com. Click on the free catalog button. It's in the upper right-hand corner. And they even donate to our military and veterans and law enforcement and first responders, children's hospitals, families with sick kids. They do it all. And also Guns for Great Causes programs. Anyway, go to henryusa.com, get your free catalog, free decals, and a list of dealers where you are.
Every day at 5 p.m. right here on News Talk 96.5 KPEL, it's me, Joe Cunningham, with The Joe Cunningham Show, offering you news, analysis, and commentary you're not going to get anywhere else. The big news stories of the day, and even some of the headlines you may not be aware of. It's your local, state, and national news coverage from a local perspective right here. Every day, News Talk 96.5 KPEL. Check us out, The Joe Cunningham Show, every day at 5 p.m.
Faith House has been Acadiana's safe haven since 1981 for victims suffering from violent or aggressive behavior in the home. This includes physical, emotional, financial, or sexual violence. We provide shelter, safety, advocacy, and resources to survivors and their children to empower them to break the cycle of abuse. Domestic violence affects 1 in 3 women and 1 in 4 men in their lifetime. In 2016, Faith House opened the Family Justice Center located downtown Lafayette, which houses law enforcement, prosecutors, civil legal services, and advocates under one roof to expedite the response time to domestic violence and reduce homicide rates. If you or someone you know is in need of assistance, please call our crisis line at 888-411-1333 to speak to an advocate. If you would like to support our mission, find us on Facebook under Faith House Acadiana or our website, faithhouseacadiana.com. On behalf of the survivors and children we serve, thank you for 39 years of care for those hurting in our community.
From the moments that shape our lives to those that shape our days, broadcasters are there, delivering the most trusted news that keeps you informed when it matters. We are your neighbors, a trusted voice, a lifeline. We are broadcasters. Text TV to 52886 and let Congress know you depend on your local TV and radio stations. This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Bikers Against Child Abuse empowers children to not feel afraid of the world in which they live. For more information, visit BACAworld.org. Our helpline is 866-885-9474. BACA, breaking the chains of abuse.
This hour of the Moon Griffon Show is brought to you by Champines, located in the Oil Center. Champines, going the extra mile.
The views expressed in the following show are those of the hosts or hosts only. They do not represent News Talk 96.5 KPEL or Town Square Media.
Hi, y'all. Welcome, Moon Griffon Show on this Friday Eve. Another great day, folks. It's a lot prettier day than it was on Monday. Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursdays turned out to be just a gorgeous day, and I love it. Anyway, great to have you with us. Matthew James Business Tax Reduction Hotline. A lot of stuff to cover today. Election stuff, some Louisiana election stuff. Great piece Joe Cunningham put out about Republican Party left Elbert Guillory in the dark, which could have happened. Barack Obama out there running his mouth, lying as usual. By the way, Millie Mallett won the Cane Pecan yesterday. I know I kind of did it late yesterday, but we will give away Cane Pecans, another package today. All you can do is email me, moon@moongriffon.com, moon@moongriffon.com, and say you want to win Cane Pecans, but make sure you leave your physical address if you win so we can mail it to you. All righty, we're going to jump gears. Governor Landry, special session. Calling in service yesterday, really starting off today, and we are starting off with Daniel Erspalmer with the Pelican Institute. Daniel, how you doing?
Hey, good morning. I'm doing all right, I think.
Yeah, I know.
A beautiful day.
I know you got it's if Louisiana can take care of their business, it'd be even prettier, I guess. And that's the
Amen.
I'm kind of going to leave it at that. But so tax reform, I know you have had your hand in this. Are you going to agree with everything the governor's trying to do? Tell us what's going on. What do you see happening in the session?
Boy, well, we're going to learn a lot here in the next couple of days. They'll begin hearing the bills that have been filed in committee and have debate over it. I thought the governor's speech yesterday was excellent. I think he hit where tax reform and fiscal reform need to go, which is focused on what is best for the people of Louisiana. How do we make this a pro-growth economic and opportunity powerhouse state? Now, as we have talked about for years now, Moon, the devil's in the details. Mm-hmm. But I think that's it was the right note to start to say this is our task to fix this for the people of Louisiana.
Yeah. So give me some highlights, some things you like, because I know you've been involved. Yep. What do you like about what the governor's trying to do? What are some things you know are going to be proposed? Because I'm taking it, Daniel, this thing has to almost pass in its entirety to do whatever they claim it will do.
I think you're right about that. If certainly I expect there'll be some changes along the way, tweaks along the way, but the governor made this clear yesterday. Taking a piecemeal approach on this will not have the same kind of impact. And so the things we like, it lowers and begins a an automatic phase out of personal income tax. That's a very good thing. It simplifies the corporate tax code by trading off all of these myriad of credits and special treatment in the tax code in favor of a low flat rate. That's good policy. Mm-hmm. It is going to include, we saw it in the call, an expenditure limit that actually, we're calling it the government growth limit, that will constrain the future growth of recurring spending in Louisiana. It's been a huge problem that's landed us in this mess. Getting that done is a huge win for the people of Louisiana. The details, I know, will get a lot of discussion, are certainly the credits. The special interests are coming out of the woodwork to try to protect their piece of the pie. I get it. But that's not how we get Louisiana in a good place long term. And then certainly there'll be a lot of debate over the sales tax provisions of this. And I think that's probably what's going to get a lot of conversation.
Daniel, one of the things as you look at this, and I've talked to you off the air, actually, me and you talk on the air more than we talk off the air. But one of the things that concerned me, and I told this to the governor, I got the governor to come on next Tuesday, and by then he's going to have an idea what he needs to push and what he needs to see. The big question was, will we really have government spending cuts? I don't think you can do what they want to do without real government spending cuts. I'm talking about taking government and actually taking money from them. So do you see any cuts? Because now that's just me. Maybe it'll come out and they won't have any. And I noticed the governor did say that will be a little bit more money for government, not less. So that's what I'm saying. How is this a cut? That can you explain that to me? Because that's the part I'm trying to understand.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've got to keep a really close eye on this, right? It's hard just to start with. The legislature has to play by the rules that they're given in the Constitution, which means a balanced budget based on the imperfect projections of what the state does, which I'm going to get super wonky for a brief moment. It's called static scoring. It just looks at one change. What we know is when you change tax rates, lots of things happen. Behavior changes, money moves in different ways. And so I do believe, my understanding is the projections, and we'll see what the fiscal notes say as they come out. This is an overall cut of about $500 million in total state government revenue. That's a good thing.
No, I don't have a problem with that at all.
Yeah. That's right. In fact, we think it should be even more than that, and we should dig into that. But that's a good start. What happens next is, because they are freeing up constitutional dedications, which we like, that's a good thing, simplify the Constitution. And because right now most of our corporate and corporate franchise tax collections are being diverted automatically into a different fund, cutting taxes, eliminating the the franchise tax, for example, has no impact on the state general fund budget. Mm-hmm. So it does reduce overall collections based on their projections by about $500 million. The governor said it would be the biggest tax cut in state's history. He's right about that, though our track record is not much to brag about in terms of tax cuts. But because of the fund moving around and the way that the complexity of the current system, this actually ends up with some more flexibility for lawmakers to make decisions on priorities. I wouldn't say it's more money, but they have more choices to make with the money they have, if that makes sense.
Well, here's the big question on that. So you're talking about keeping maybe the 0.45 sales tax and then putting taxes on a lot of other items. A lot of other services and things that hadn't been taxed. I don't know if it's 35, 41, whatever it is. And if you do that, and the local governments are able to put their lick on it as well. So let's say I'm 10% where I'm at, and all the services will be taxed 10%. That way you're paying local and state. Won't that be a tax increase on the average citizen that pays those bills? If I'm way off, explain how I'm off.
I don't think it's out of the question that some consumers in the short run pay a little more. I think you're right about that. There's no way to model it because everyone's consumer behaviors are so different. For example, if we look at the list of things on the expansion of the base of the sales tax, I don't pay a dog groomer. I don't pay a yard guy. I don't pay, you look down the list. There's in my daily life, just as one example, there's not a whole lot of services on that list that I'm paying for. Someone else, that may be a very different situation. What we know is this has to be an ongoing process. And what I mean by that is if it turns out, if revenues, and I think they will, by the way, end up being much higher than what the projections are, this is why that government growth limit is so important, so that they don't just take that and spend it, but rather use it to further buy down the rate quickly. So what I think we'll see is, even if there are some outliers, and there may be, who end up because of renovations on tap or some other things that the consumers spend money on that maybe some don't, over the next year or two, that all works out if we keep our foot on the gas to keep moving those rates downward. And that's what has to happen, not just this year and in the regular session, but in the next few years to come.
Are there any triggers in this bill, far as you know? Because I remember when y'all passed the deal, and I wasn't necessarily for it, and y'all were really arguing. Now, this was before Jeff got there, of course. This was a session before Bell was the governor. We had Blank Page and Shakedown Shake Snyder. And you arguing, hey, with the triggers we have in here, we ought to be able to lower some tax rates for people. And those triggers kicked in, but they didn't. They kicked in the fake world, which is on paper, but in the real world, they never did anything about it. Do they have any triggers in this thing that you're concerned about? I'm not a big trigger guy. I'm just not, because I've seen in Louisiana, they ignore them.
There are triggers built into this. We're having some discussions now about the best way. Are there some different ways to structure it so that they're much simpler and to solve the problem you've just addressed? The challenge with the previous triggers, they were too complicated. They were the best we could get in the bill. And by the way, if the legislature does nothing right now, those triggers will hit this year. So we're beginning to see reductions already. But they were too complicated, and they gave the administrative state basically too much ability to move things around, because it tied in the rainy day fund to the triggers, and they just decided not to put money there and not to count other money. The triggers language that are in the draft bills that have been circulated and some other ideas we're kicking around would avoid that problem and actually make this phase out happen.
Yeah, you got a few more minutes?
Yeah, of course.
Right, I'm going to take a quick break, come back about 5-6 minutes. I'm going to get you out of here. I know you're busy. I know you got to get to the deal, but I'm going to get you in and out. Just a couple more big questions for you. Daniel Earls Palmer, the Pelican Institute. He's been a friend of the program for a while now, and we appreciate him. So we'll come back, and, special sessions already kicked in, folks. We'll take a break. Be right back. When you think about how you'll spend your money in retirement, what comes to mind? Probably travel, sunny beaches, and spoiling your grandchildren. But a recent survey found that over 30% of every dollar a retiree spends goes to taxes. Baby boomers were told for years to save money in their IRAs and 401ks and pay taxes later. Well, now that day has arrived, and boomers are shocked to see a third of their money going back to Uncle Sam. John Blanchard and the Matthew James Financial Group can help. What if you could protect all or most of your retirement wealth from future tax rate increases? Achieve a zero or near zero effective tax rate for most of your retirement years. Find out more. 337-366-8366. Isn't it time you got a second opinion on your wealth and retirement outlook? Learn how you could potentially kick the IRS out of your IRA. 337-366-8366 and online at MatthewJames.com.
Louisiana is unique. The food, the festivals, even the bugs. It's termite season. Did you know termites are responsible for over $1 billion worth of damage in Louisiana alone? For over 60 years, J&J Exterminating has been shielding homes and businesses. 100% guaranteed against termites, pests, and mosquitoes. Louisiana-owned, customer-focused. J&J Exterminating.
Call him today, make the pests go away. J&J Exterminating.
Get the shield.
Yeah. It's gumbo season. This year, I want you to try some Ragin' Cajun authentic roux and let Ragin' Cajun roux do the hard work for you. Using just 2 simple ingredients. Ragin' Cajun roux, a slow cook for 6 hours for the perfect dark and rich tasting gumbo. You can find Ragin' Cajun roux and Ragin' Cajun original Cajun seasoning in all your favorite grocery stores today. Folks, ask them for that Ragin' Cajun. Try all your great Ragin' Cajun products. Ask for them by name in the grocery store. Ragin' Cajuns, folks. This food is great.
Do you crave off? Look.
Hello, welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Daniel Earls Palmer, my special guest. Pelican Institute, special session cranked up. It is a tax session, and I said tax session. It's tax reform session, is what I should say. And they went in yesterday, and so let's see what happens, I think, between now and November 25th. Daniel, one of the big questions I have, you know, I heard what some municipalities were upset with it. But when I read it, it looks like municipalities, if they got a sales tax on all these new services, they will actually make more money. Is that a safe statement or not really?
I think for some of them that will absolutely be true. For those localities that currently tax prescription drugs, there are some of them. They're going to lose some money on that. There's some other things. The inventory tax is the big thing we hear complaints from local government. This is just a terrible punishing tax. Louisiana is one of only 3 states to levy an inventory tax, a franchise tax, and a corporate income tax. And at least one of those states, Mississippi, is phasing those out. And so, you know, the local governments, and I get it, there's a lot of moving parts to this. They have benefited enormously from the status quo, from the complexity of the current system. Some will collect more. I think some will be pretty much even, and there'll probably be a few that have to figure out, you know, where to find some cuts. But remember, money has been flowing in from the federal government, from tax collections, from everything else to these local governments, just like it has the state. And you can bet they have not set money aside. They've spent every penny that's been coming in. So, you know, I think we need to take a hard look at our local government spending, just like we do the state.
What about? I'm watching the presidential election, as you know, that's over. But Elon Musk and the president are talking about doing real cuts, real government cuts. And I think one of the cuts that I've heard them talk about is cuts to state government. So you do all this stuff, and then you get cuts to state government. How's that going to figure in any of this stuff? Because that's, you know, we got the Trump tax cuts, which I think will be okay now. But I'm just kind of curious, how do you figure in that stuff? Because if we start getting cuts to the state and cuts to the local governments, once again, they're going to be in trouble because they depended on federal government so much.
You're absolutely right. You've been ringing this bell. I have too. That we have been far too reliant on federal government money coming into Louisiana, and I support the president and Elon Musk and what they've talked about to really find efficiencies. We should be doing the same thing right here in Louisiana. This would be a good outcome by and large for the country, for the state. However, it does pose some need, which is exactly why now is the time to be doing these kinds of reforms so we can get our economy growing and be far less susceptible to changes at the federal level. One other point I'll make.
Yes, sir.
Is you know, if the energy policies of President Trump's first term end up coming back in the second term, I think Louisiana will benefit tremendously from America once again becoming energy dominant country.
Oh no, they need to. These legacy lawsuits and all that stuff is still out there, which I think hurts us. But you're right. If the president does what he wants to do, and I think he'll do it today, anything he can do for the executive order, he needs to go ahead and do. There's no doubt about it, because that's what they did. It's just interesting. You got so many moving pieces. Is it too many moving pieces? Because you got a special session. If that works out, we'll have a constitutional vote in March, and they still got to do work in the legislative session, and we still got to deal with tort reform and dealing with insurance. Now, I don't want to get into that, but I mean that's a lot of moving parts that need to be done. But if we don't do something big, we're never going to catch up with everybody else.
That's right. And rest assured, they're also doing big things. I mean, Governor Sanders in Arkansas called their legislature into a special session to cut taxes and cut spending. That was just a month or so, a couple of months ago. Mississippi is already talking. They've got a plan in place to begin to phase out their income tax. Their franchise tax will be gone in the next few years. So not only do we have to do this just to keep up, if we have any hope of what we should be, which is to be the powerhouse of the Southeast, you're right. We have to take some bold swings and know there's going to be some tweaks along the way. It's not all going to work out perfectly. When you're talking with policy and money, it never does. But if we don't take a big swing at this now, it's hard to see how we recover from that and pick this back up another time. So now is what we can argue about whether this was the best time or not, or there's a lot of opinions about that. But we're here. We got to get something. Not just get something done, but something big and good done. To your point, Moon, no more steps in the right direction. We got to get this done.
And that never got us anywhere. We take a step, and everybody else takes a mile, and then we don't take another one. Had a guy from North Carolina on, a representative. They told me they started theirs about 14, 15 years ago. Every year they do something more. You can't pass it, celebrate it, and don't do nothing to move the needle. And I got a bad feeling that's our attitude, and that's our way of doing it. We cannot do something this year and don't do nothing next year and the year after and the year after that. I'm telling you, it won't work. And you know that.
I agree. Yep. We got to keep our foot on the gas.
Last thing, real quick, would it be better to say we're going to phase out the income tax in 3 or 4 years, or we got to do it the way we're going to do it?
Look, I think setting up the structure is the right way to do it. The question of speed has everything to do with how much money gets spent. So as we get into the regular session and get that budget put together, the more we can spur the economy and the less money we can spend, the faster we can get the income tax out. Well, I would love to see it go faster.
Yeah, you're like me. We want it there yesterday. They just listened to me for the last 30 years. We'd already have this over. I just want to let you know that. All right, my brother,
I've
Daniel.
been saying that all over the place.
Daniel Earthspawn with Pelican Institute. Thanks, Daniel. Good luck.
Thank you, friend. Talk to you soon.
All right, God bless. Have a break. Be right back. With 5 Louisiana locations, I always make it a point to visit Superior Grill when I'm traveling in the great state of Louisiana. I love the food there. It's authentic Mexican food with a Louisiana twist. Their menu has all your favorites: nachos, quesadillas, enchiladas, tacos, fajitas, hand-cut steaks, and the best margaritas in the state. You can go to Superior for lunch or dinner, and folks, you're going to thank me for it. My lovely bride and I eat at Superior Grill every chance we get. They're on Line Avenue in Shreveport, Government Street and Highland Road in Baton Rouge, St. Charles Avenue in New Orleans, and on College Saloon in Lafayette. I'm talking great food, great service, and great margaritas. The best Mexican food with a Louisiana twist is found at Superior Grill, Shreveport on Line Avenue, Baton Rouge on Government Street and Highland Road, New Orleans on St. Charles Avenue, and College Saloon in Lafayette. This is Moon Griffon. I'll see you at Superior Grill. This is Moon Griffon. My good buddy Jeff and the folks at Hudco Roofing and Exteriors is Louisiana's premier professional roofing contractor, specializing in residential roofing services. Remember, your roof protects everything, you and your family, and most of your possessions. And that's where Hudco Roofing comes in. These folks aren't just your average roofers. They're the #1 roofing company in the state. Whether you need a repair or brand new roof, Hudco Roofing has you covered. Hudco is a CertainTeed Select Shingle Master and takes every roof all the way down to the decking to make sure there are no hidden damages. Hudco Roofing is also a state-certified installer of the Fortified Roofing System, and that's a big deal. Anywhere in Louisiana, you can get a free roof inspection and quote from Hudco Roofing. Go to HudcoRoofing.com for quality workmanship, premium products, and unparalleled customer service. This is Moon Griffon. I trust Hudco Roofing of Louisiana, and so should you. HudcoRoofing.com. That's HudcoRoofing.com.
Support local.
This hour of the Moon Griffon Show is brought to you by Champagnes, located in the Oil Center. Champagnes, going the extra mile.
Hi, y'all. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you back with us. 844-766-6607 is the number. If you'd like to be part of the program, it's the Matthew James Business Tax Reduction Hotline. It is Friday Eve for people looking forward to the weekend. Anyway, I got a lot of stuff to cover. I mean, a bunch of stuff laid in front. First thing I want to do is I'm going to be intrigued by the tax reform. I appreciate the Governor Landry, trying to tackle something that nobody's tried to tackle. Nobody, since I've been doing a radio program. Nobody's tried to tackle it. Whether I agree, disagree, like, don't like, it has nothing to do with it. It's going to be a tough battle to get what he wants to get done. I have questions, and I'll ask. The governor will be here on Tuesday at 9:06 to discuss what he's trying to do, what they're doing, and maybe between now and then, who knows, they may have passed something. It's a lot of moving pieces, so we just got to stay on top of it. But it's a lot of moving pieces, and it's a long process to change. And even if he gets everything out today, and they get to the we get to see things on a ballot in March. They got a special session they may call on insurance, and then we got the regular session dealing with taxes and money and all that kind of stuff. You know, the 0.45, and I didn't have a chance to talk to Daniel about it, but people swore they were going to get rid of that 0.45. Now the 0.45 plays into what they want to try to do. So I predicted that they'll never get rid of the 0.45. And, I just, whatever the excuse is, doesn't matter to me. The 1 cent should have never been put on us by Bill Edwards and the Republicans. Then Paula Pelosi Davis came along and came up with this 0.45 for 7 years, 5 years, whatever the hell it is. And so that 1 cent and the 0.45, and now we got a permanent tax that's supposed to only be there for, 27 months the first time and 5 or 7 years the second time, and it becomes a permanent tax, and that's what we do in Louisiana. But people are willing to trade the 0.45 to have a lower income tax. So my concerns is, and this is a concern, I asked Daniel, will this be a tax increase on people? I got an article today. The governor said that it will be a slight uptick in government revenue. Governor said that. I didn't say it. The governor said it. He said there'll be a slight uptick in government revenue. Well, a slight uptick. If somebody's going to pay more, somebody's going to pay less. I mean, that's the kind of things concern me. Maybe moving up on one of these big, they're trying to move up on all these studies and where they rank people. I remember Bobby Jindal got us moved up in the ethics laws. Okay, I know y'all remember that in the ethics. We went from like 44th to 1st or 2nd or something like that. And they touted that. Well, me being the nice guy that I am, I kind of looked into it. And what I found out was enforcement was not in the ethics count they were looking at. It had nothing to do with enforcement. And we ripped enforcement out of ours and moved up because enforcement was never in there. Okay? I'm just telling you that, but it went up. It didn't mean anything because without enforcement, what is ethics? It's like a speed limit. You'll put speed limits 70 miles an hour on the interstate and there's no enforcement and people do 95 and 100 miles an hour. What good is it, speed limit? So I just want to see what comes out. I don't want to be critical of anything. I want us to pass something that really makes sense. I really do. And like I said, I mean it sincerely what Jeff's trying to do. Okay? What he's trying to do. Big picture-wise, I couldn't agree with more. I just couldn't. What he's trying to do. But, it's always in the details. We got to wait and see, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to wait and see what happens. But it's an opportunity, and I hope to God that we can do it. I know there's local governments, and this is what people are telling me looking at the bill. If they do on all these services, now Daniel says he don't use many of those services. We do it. We got a dog. We use a dog grooming service. I don't use a outdoor service. Nobody cutting my grass. I don't do anything like that. I mean, I cut my own grass. But I don't know. I don't know what services the lobbyists are going to get in there, and some of them are going to fight and probably get theirs off. Somebody else is going to have to do it. Tax exemptions, all this stuff. It's just a lot. And you know why it's a lot? Because we don't do anything in small doses on the best side. And if we did things in small doses on the best side, then you don't have to have something gigantic. But in our case, we're so far behind, we got to make a move. So I'm hoping to see. I'm waiting to see what happens with this. But I'm not making a judgment on it at all. I want something to pass, but I don't want just anything to pass. And I don't want to step in the right direction. I want a gigantic win. How about this? Tax reform. I want a Donald Trump win. I want a big win. I want a rear-end kicking win. You know, this election ended up being a landslide. That's the kind of win Louisiana needs. We need a Donald Trump win, a rear-end kicking. I'm talking about a kicking like we've never seen. That's what we need. We need a Donald Trump win on all the stuff that we're doing. If we can get a Donald Trump win, then I'm going to be happy. Because I think Trump's headed in the right direction. But it ain't a step in the right direction. It gets way out there. So we'll wait and see what happens. Anyway, got a lot of stuff to cover. Ooh, Psycho Bill's in the news. Don't go nowhere, folks. I'm going to tell you why Psycho Bill's all excited about Trump. I'm not making this up. We don't make stuff up here, folks. Let's go to Dale in Baton Rouge. Dale, you're on the Moon Griffon Show. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing fine, sir.
I'm looking at potential list of some of these services, and I think what doesn't get accounted for by these politicians is the human factor. You're asking a guy who cuts grass or a lady, someone who comes and changes my air conditioning unit or does some appliance repair. Those people are now stewards of state funds. Mm-hmm. They have to take those taxes and then report on them and send them in. It's just like you become a retail operator. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people that are in those services are in those professions because they don't want to be a steward of tax dollars. They offer you a cash price to do a service, mm-hmm. and that's it. And I think it's going to be a cluster when some of these small businesses are forced to steward tax dollars to the state.
Well, the thing about it is, though,
monthly basis.
They don't work on all cash, but they do work on a lot of cash. And I think it will be. Look, I'm not arguing with you on it. You realize, though, as I look at this, basically, it's a tax shift to the citizens, like you said. Not only in that, but if you take away tax credits or you take away this and that, and businesses have to charge more, ultimately, you and me pay every tax. People pay taxes. We pay all the taxes. The people do. And most of it's middle-class workers. So I get what you're saying. I'm just telling you that, something's going to come out of this. And somebody else is going to be taxed. That's why I asked the question, is this a tax increase?
Well, I think, people might not be worried about paying the taxes, but someone has to receive them and then report on them and send it in. It's not just the service of collecting the money. Yeah. That business operator now has to steward those dollars back to the state.
Yeah, it's going to cost them money.
They report it accurately or they don't, or they, it might not. The models that they're projecting might not work out the way that they think because I'm saying they're not accounting for human beings skirting the system.
Yep. No, I agree with you because you're saying if I got to now collect it and pay it, that's going to take me either paying somebody to do it, which is going to cost you even more money, or it's going to cost you a lot of time. And exactly. I think your point's well taken. That's why I say, Dale, let's wait and see how this thing comes out because there's so many moving parts right now. I'm not even trying to figure it out right now. I'm just listening. I'm on the listening tour right now. I'm trying to listen to what these guys. We'll hear from the governor on Tuesday. I'll be glad to ask him that question.
Yeah. The other concern is that we have a state legislature that maybe has a spending problem. You have a guy that has a poverty mentality, and if you give him more money, it's not necessarily the solution to his problem. We need to figure out how to spend money correctly and judiciously in the state of Louisiana. And giving them more money is not necessarily going to solve the problem.
Yeah, Dale, I think we got a gigantic spending problem. And you don't fix it. You don't fix it. A spendaholic, you don't give them money. Just like an alcoholic, you don't give them alcohol. All right, got to run. Thank you. Great call. We got to take a break.
Thank you. Thanks for taking my call.
Yes, sir. More calls are welcome. Matthew James Business Tax Reduction Hotline 844-766-6607 is the number. Also, giving away some Cane River pecans at the end of the next hour. Email me moon@moongriffon.com. Say you want to win. Make sure you leave an address. telling you about Schumacher Homes for a long time. Now, for a limited time, you can choose from 5 different financing offers and pick one that works best for you. Whether you're an active duty, military, or veteran, you can take advantage of the exclusive VA construction loan offer. You can lock in 30-year fixed financing for as low as 3.875. How about that? Looking to stay in your home and start construction right away? A stay-in-your-home loan might be right for you. With this option, you can stay in your home during construction and not worry about moving twice. And for you first-time home buyers, we're not going to forget you. For a limited time, they're offering 30-year fixed financing as low as 3.875. Other financing offers include no-cost refinancing, conventional loans, and FHA construction loans. If you're thinking of building your dream custom home, there's no time like the present to start building. SchumacherHomes.com. SchumacherHomes.com. Let them build your dream home. They're building dream homes one at a time.
Our state is facing a budget shortfall, left over by the last governor. Jeff Landry in the legislature already cut $2 billion for spending we don't need. Now they have to deal with this shortfall, but they've got a plan to deal with that and move Louisiana forward. This is what Governor Landry said.
This Louisiana Forward Plan, when fully implemented by the legislature and ratified by the people of this state, will produce more jobs, a greater prosperity, lower our taxes, and bring us a sustainable budget.
This plan cuts taxes for the middle class and all taxpayers, with the income tax rate dropped to just 3%. Job creators can grow the economy with lower taxes. Families and senior citizens, no more prescription drug sales tax. A different tax system which focuses on choices, not labor. And the Louisiana voters, we get the final say. Fixing the shortfall, cutting taxes, growing our economy, now that's moving Louisiana forward. Paid for by Protect Louisiana Values.
Hey, folks, it's Moon Griffon. Hi, y'all. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great day. That's right. That was a great call from Dale because with Dale's looking back saying, what about this? What about that? And that's why you got legislators that they're supposed to be working all that out. You can call your rep and senator and tell them what you like, what you don't like, what you hear about, what you don't hear about. I called Junk Mail Julie Emerson, who's head of Ways and Means, and I said, Junk Mail, I hear them, they're going to put a sales tax on advertisement sales and internet and radio sales and TV sales. She said it was fake news. But they did talk about it. I just think it's crazy. But everybody's going to have their little chunk. They don't want to pay any more in taxes. That would be a lot of taxes and a lot of income out of people's pockets. You know? It just would be. So let me tell y'all what's kind of funny. So the devil's advocate who keeps running Trump into the ground, talked about how Trump carried Louisiana definitively than any president has in years. President Trump got over 60% of the vote. Okay? And that's more than he's been getting in the other elections when he ran in the state of Louisiana, and more than most anybody's ever gotten. So I thought it was odd when that came out. And the odd part was not that. Here's the odd part. Y'all remember a guy named Senator Bill Cassidy, psycho? Bill impeached President Trump. We told him not to, and he made other bad votes. He's a Green New Deal guy now. And Cassidy, I don't remember him getting out there and endorsing Donald Trump. And matter of fact, he's the one who said Donald Trump will not be president again. He's the one who said Donald Trump will not be the nominee. He's the one who said Donald Trump will not be president again. Psycho Bill Cassidy. So I thought it was odd, and then now I know because when I look at the article how Trump dominated Louisiana, did even better, and Psycho Bill has to run for re-election in 2026 in a closed Republican primary. He has nowhere to go. He hadn't faced the Republicans yet because they don't even want him around. At the Republican convention last year, governor's race and all that, the man didn't even get invited. Okay? So this is what I thought was odd. Headlines in Louisiana Network News. Senator Psycho Bill Cassidy. They don't say Psycho. Senator Cassidy. Future looks bright for Louisiana with Trump in the White House. Bill's coming along. Bill's kissing up. All of a sudden, things look bright with Trump in the White House, and all you did was beat the man to death, and you told us, y'all wait for January 6th to come out. I seen stuff. He told us that. Y'all ain't seen the stuff I see. You wait till it comes out. That was over 4 years ago, and it still ain't come out. U.S. Senator Bill Cassidy has congratulated President-elect Trump. Why don't you impeach him again, Bill? It's the first time in over 100 years a president has won after being out of the office for 4 years, taking electoral college and the popular vote. Cassidy said the future looks bright for the country in Louisiana. He's going to be pro-energy. That's going to be good for Louisiana. Look at old Cassidy. Look at old Cassidy planting a big one on the cheeks of Donald Trump. Oh, yeah. Oh, he's the guy. He's the guy now. Kind of like when he ran the last time and he Trump in every commercial. Now, all of a sudden, here he comes kissing the rear end of the president of the United States. Where were you at before the election, Bill? I called for you, who you were voting for the whole time the election went on. Never heard from Cassidy. All of a sudden, Trump wins right on the cheek, and I'm not talking about on his face. I think he's going to have a better policy on the border. Well, I'll be Bill, that a boy. Where were you fighting the border? So I think there are going to be a lot of positive things the American people voted or will see becoming reality. Well, hold up. This is the man you impeached. This is the man you told us wasn't worth the crap. This is the man when you went on CNN and MSNBC and ABC and CBS and all these liberal Looney Tune networks blasting Donald Trump with your buddies Romney and Liz Cheney and Lisa Murkowski. Now look, old Bill coming around our way of thinking. Why? Because Trump won. Let me tell you what. When Trump got beat last time and we lost the House and the Senate, go back and, I got to go pull it up. Go back and look what Bill Cassidy said, how Donald Trump inherited a Senate, a Republican Senate and House, and he lost the Senate, and how Trump lost the House, and how Trump lost the presidency. See, Psycho Bill words have meaning. Now, all of a sudden, Psycho's back, kissing Trump on the rear end. This ain't what he said. Let me ask y'all a question. Trump would have got beat. Trump would have got beat when he lost the House. What do you think Cassidy would have said? He would have said, well, he lost the last time, he lost again this time. He shouldn't have been the nominee. Now look at Psycho. Boop, right on the rear end, kissing cheeks. I tell you how bad he's kissing the cheeks of Donald Trump. Y'all follow me on this. We ought to nickname Psycho Bill Windshield Wiper. Oh, yeah. You got two cheeks, and he takes his mouth, and he goes left and right. Left cheek, right cheek, left cheek, right. Think of a windshield wiper. Left, right. That's Psycho Bill. He got them lips puckered up on the cheeks of Trump like a windshield wiper. Yeah, Psycho. But if he would have lost, Psycho Bill would have been running him into the ground. But look at it. Oh, he's going to be great for the United States and great for the border and great for energy. Let me tell you, he ain't going to be great for you. The windshield wiper, Psycho Bill. Kissing both cheeks equally. That's Psycho Bill. That's him. They remind him in the article that Psycho Bill voted 2021 to convict Trump of indicting a riot. Do you still think he indicted the riot? The windshield wiper, kissing both cheeks. Earlier this year, Trump called Cassidy one of the worst U.S. senators and said he was a total fluke, a flake. Yes, and he's still a flake, Mr. President. Don't let him fool you. Cassidy said despite what many people think, he and Trump have been closely aligned on many issues, including health care and energy. What folks don't realize is that I voted with Trump his first 4 years more than my fellow Senator John Kennedy, just slightly, but to just a bit. Why are you bringing Kennedy into this? Kennedy ain't apologized. Kennedy ain't got to go back and kiss the rear end. Kennedy's not going back and saying what he supported with. Cassidy is trying to reset the field. He can't. All he can do is play a windshield wiper. Take the cheeks of Trump. Left, right, left. That's it. Cassidy said he's looking forward to the Trump administration unlocking domestic energy production, creating jobs, and providing economic security. Oh, my God. The windshield wiper, kissing the left cheek, right cheek. Just think of a windshield wiper. Kissing both cheeks to cover thy rear end. We'll take a break and be back. I just knew he was up to something. That's what it is.
The Moon Griffon merchandise store is now open. Go to moongriffon.com right now and click on merchandise. There you'll find men's tees, ladies' tees, polos, fishing shirts, lounge pants, hats, and more. Through November 15th, a portion of the proceeds will benefit the Cajun Navy hurricane relief efforts. Show your love for the Moon Griffon Show by purchasing some Moon Griffon merch. Go to moongriffon.com right now and click on merchandise.
LA 13.
News Talk 96.5 KPEL, Brobridge, Lafayette, a Town Square media station, broadcasting from the Matthew James Tax Pro Studio.
He has only 75 days left in the White House. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, and in a few minutes, President Biden will address the nation from the Rose Garden the day after calling President-elect Trump to congratulate him, promising a smooth transition.
It's going to be really interesting to hear how President Biden threads the needle today about what comes next with this peaceful transfer of power, because that's not going to happen until January. And it's not like Joe Biden is just going to stop trying to implement his agenda. You've got Jen O'Malley Dillon from the campaign that just lost talking about how the work is about to begin to Trump-proof the administration. Joe Biden next week is going to head to South America. He's going to try to put his fingerprints on as many different things as possible before a president with a completely different worldview comes in and tries to undo it.
That's Fox's Peter Doocy at the White House. Vice President Harris not expected to be there at the Biden address the day after her concession speech as the Trump transition team plans the takeover, considering who to nominate for cabinet positions. Republican Senator Marco Rubio is rumored to be on the list, but he tells Fox,
I have a job to do now. I'm in the Senate. I have an opportunity to serve there, and he's going to need people in the Senate to help carry that agenda, because one thing is to win an election, but then you got to do something with it. There's a mandate here. They're telling us, go up there and fix these things. And we have to do that. If we don't do that, then all this was for naught.
For now, Republicans have won 52 seats for their majority in the next Congress and the Senate, with a lead in the still uncalled race in Pennsylvania. In Maine, the race has just been called for Angus King's re-election. He's an independent who caucuses with Democrats. A wind-driven wildfire still burns out of control north of Los Angeles, torching about 14,000 acres.
This is the most dangerous fire we've seen in Southern California in about 6 years, not because it's big, but because it's moving so fast.
Fox's William Lajeunesse near the flames in Ventura County.
Thousands evacuated, 70,000 without power in 6 counties, and about 40 to 50 homes destroyed. We had 80-mile-an-hour gusts yesterday. That's a Cat 1 hurricane.
America's listening to Fox News.
Police officer and K-9 handler Jacob Russell Chaffins was fatally shot while attempting to serve warrants for domestic violence offenses. And thanks to friends like you and your generosity, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation gave the Chaffins family the gift of a mortgage-free home. There's so much more to do, and to say thank you to our nation's heroes and their families for their immense sacrifices, all for us. Donate $11 a month. Go to their website, the letter T, the number 2, the letter T.org. You know, the big wireless companies want you to overpay for data that you don't need, but you don't have to settle for that with Pure Talk. Well, you get to choose how much data that you actually want. And for $25 a month, you'll get unlimited talk, unlimited text. You're going to get mobile hotspot, 5 gigs of data. Go with Pure Talk, and you get to choose how much data you actually want. Just dial pound 250, say the keyword save now, and if you do it now, you'll save an additional 50% off your first month.
Court-appointed special advocates, or CASA, are specially trained volunteers that help secure safe homes for abused and neglected children. Don't let these innocent victims slip through the cracks of our complicated legal system. Get involved today. Call CASA at 268-5111. This nonprofit organization moment brought to you by News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
Hi, I'm Dale Brown, best-selling techno-thriller author. I'm also a mission pilot and squadron commander in the Civil Air Patrol. The members of the Civil Air Patrol are volunteer professionals who serve their communities and their nation every day with emergency services, aerospace education, and cadet programs. We train hard, we fly hard, and we get the job done for America. Join the Civil Air Patrol. Visit www.gocivilairpatrol.com and let's go flying.
Vermilion Catholic Screamin' Eagle football is back on the air. Listen to our sister station, Classic Rock 105.1, Friday night for all the action. Pre-game at 6:30, kickoff at 7. Head coach Brock Prejean has his team primed to make another championship run to the Dome, so don't miss any of it. If your business would like to advertise during Vermilion Catholic football, call 337-296-2987. That's 296-2987. VC football Friday night on our sister station 105.1. Go Eagles.
The views expressed in the following show are those of the hosts or hosts only. They do not represent News Talk 96.5 KPEL or Town Square Media.
Hi, hello. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. What a day. Great day to be with you. It is Matthew James Business Tax Reduction Hotline, where you can be a voice, 844-766-6607. You can always email me, moon at moongriffon.com. Go give away some Cane River pecans. Probably somebody did ask me, do you have to keep registering? No, I got it. It's all computer-based. It's all dropped in a deal. You can register more than once. If you don't want to, you don't have to. You got a chance to win it every day, but you got to email me. Just say you want to win the pecans from Cane River, and leave a physical address. I just hate when somebody wins, and I can't send it to them because I don't have an address. So they move to the next one. Anyway, great to be with you. 844-766-6607. So I did. You got that ready to go? This theme song. Okay. I may come up with a Psycho Bill theme song, especially since Trump's back in. And Bill has to run in two years in a closed primary. But how much of this and this theme song will Cassidy be doing over the next 2 years?
Why don't you kiss me? Kiss this. And I don't mean on my rosary.
Oh, no. Cassidy, too.
And there's only one thing left for you to do.
Go ahead, Bill.
Just come on over here one last time. Pucker up and close your eyes and kiss this.
Goodbye. Oh, that's a perfect theme to hold that, Walker. Got to say that. Little Cassidy love right there, man. He loving on him some Donald Trump. I wonder why. I wonder what changed in the last day or two. I wonder what changed in the last. And guess who's pushing? Guess who thinks the Green New Deal is a hoax? His name is Donald Trump, our new coming in president. What does Cassidy think about the Green New Deal? He's all for it. He's for carbon capture and windmills and solar farms and getting all his federal money out there. Totally opposites. He better do some kissing. I'm telling you. He better do some kissing. It's amazing. And what happened? Overnight. Why wasn't Cassidy all about Trump a week or two leading up to the election? Never said a word, did he? All of a sudden, he's going to be great for the country and great for the border and great for Louisiana, and we're going to be great for the economy. What was all that before? Did anybody see Bill out there campaigning for Trump or anybody that was a Republican? I'm just asking. Maybe I'm way off on it. Maybe that dude was the most hardest worker dude out there for the Republicans. Maybe I just didn't see him out there. Maybe the media never asked him a question. But boy, when he goes on MSNBC and CNN, he loves poking at Trump. Well, now what are we doing? He's kissing her hand. I thought you got $6 million. Why are you kissing up to Trump? You got $6 million. I mean, you got all this money, man. You could just walk in a Republican primary and blow everybody away. Ask Liz Cheney how that worked out. You realize Liz Cheney almost lost by 40 points in a Republican primary. Cassidy he's going to take a lick. And he'll deserve what he gets in 2 years if he runs again. If he's foolish enough to run again. Wow. So anyway, I'm reading them numbers and then look up, and the first thing I see is Cassidy's praising Donald Trump. Windshield wiper on both cheeks. Unbelievable. All right, so they're still tripping out, folks. Let me play a clip. I want to play a clip of the guy who is embarrassing LSU and the state of Louisiana, James Carville. I mean, you're talking about a guy. He needs to be brought somebody needs to go pick him up in a paddy wagon, but it ain't got nothing to do with Trump or anything like that. So here was James Carville, wrong again on the election. Here we go.
I think the election result is going to confirm the fact that this country doesn't want to be controlled by an adversarial foreign power, that people in this country, particularly women, do not want to be controlled by 6 people sitting in a row judging their lives for them. I just fundamentally believe that. Until an election proves this different, I'm going to have to continue to believe it. And I think I'm going to sleep well tonight. I really do. I'll have me a couple of bourbons and, who knows, maybe a gummy or 2 and go to sleep and get up and get them tomorrow. Thank you.
Bourbon or 2, some of them marijuana gummies, and say he might still be on them. But he was a nut before. Once again, with the LSU, I just hate it for LSU. That's embarrassing that that dude puts anything with LSU on him. He's embarrassing everybody and still embarrassing people. And he got it wrong again. It wasn't even close. And Trump had more women vote for him this time, blacks, young people, Hispanics. This win by Trump, and some people are going to get mad at me, but that's fine. It was not so much about pro-Republican, anti-Democrat. It was about pro-America. Because you had all these different people coming together, coming to our side, realizing what's happening to this country. And the people like James Carville, every time he got on that TV and somebody watched him, they had to go, what a nut. What a lunatic. Why would I vote for a lunatic like this guy? That's exactly what we're looking at, folks. Totally. Just a lunatic. I mean, there was something else that's been going on. There was a great article in the Herald. I had known this. My buddy Paul had brought it up. I checked into it. Somebody just sent it to me. I was already going to talk about it. So if you go back from 2008 to 2024 election, okay, there's a great article by Masala. So about those 13 million extra Joe Biden votes that Biden got in 2020, he had 81 million votes. Yet, if you look from 2008, and that would be the legendary Barack Obama, 2008, Democrats got 69 million. 2012, they got 65 million. 2016, they got 65 million. And in 2024, they got 66 million. Basically about an average of about 66, 67 million votes. But in 2020, when we came in with mail-in ballots, and we came in with stopping elections in swing states, And we came in, it don't matter when you get your ballot in. And they came in counting votes 2 weeks later. And they came up with finding ballots. Joe Biden got 81 million. Joe Biden got 14 million more votes than Obama twice, Hillary, and Kamala. How could Joe Biden? He didn't. All those conspiracy things that there are, conspiracy, and that's nuts. It wasn't nuts. Trump should have won that election. Trump got 75 million votes. Anyway, it's broke down in a hayride. You need to go read this, folks. This is breaking news, but it's really not. People have put this out there. Look at the numbers over the last 16,000 years. The Dems average about 68,000 votes. But in 2020, Biden got 13,000 more votes than million. They usually get about 68 million. They got 13 million more votes. Didn't even campaign. Stayed in the basement. And then everybody knows what happened. And all these judges and everybody else was in, they had to get Trump out. They had to get Trump out, and they were allowed to cheat and change the rules and change the laws and change the rules as we go. Folks, this justifies it. You mean to tell me the guy that's the president right now, how did a guy who didn't campaign get $13 million more, 13 million more votes than Obama did? Got more black vote than Obama did? Anyway, this is a great article. There's other articles out there. When the GOP questioned the 81 million, the media called him election deniers rather than investigate. The math never added up for Biden, folks. It never added up for Biden. Trump got 74 million votes and should have won. He went up in everything. And yet Biden, because of mail-in ballots and drop boxes in Fulton County, folks, this doesn't make sense. Well, we can't go back. That's the problem. That's the problem. You had a guy, president of the United States, putting Supreme Court justices, federal judges, Green New Deal, running up our debt. Open borders for 4 years when that would have been 4 years and 20 million less people in the state raping and hurting people. It mattered. And the Democrats still looked the other way. They should have never been in charge. It's impossible for Joe Biden. Obama, give me credit. Obama campaigned. So did Hillary. So did this woman that just got bombed. How did Biden get 13 million more votes? It's called mail-in ballots and changing the rules as we go. It's amazing, folks. When they went to 69.5 million for Obama, that was unbelievable. For Obama, and Biden beat him by 13 million votes? I mean, in 1 year, 2012, Biden beat him by 15 million votes. There's no way this happened, folks. Yeah, we were called nuts and conspiracy. I know they cheated the man. None of this adds up, but we'll never know because we moved on too quick. We just kept moving on, and so we moved on, and guess what? We never found out what really happened in 2020. An election was cheated, and our borders, we have none. And we got fentanyl coming across like it's never had. We could have built that damn wall. We got people that are raped and killed. We're putting people on medical, and we're giving them money, and we're putting them on Social Security. All this has been done. The Green New Deal, spending money we don't have on things that are not true, all to make sure Trump was out of there. You know? 68 million votes, approximately what Harris ended up with. But Biden, Joe Biden, most people hate him. He got 13 million more votes than the average Democrat since 2008. Read the article. It's really, really impressive. We'll take a break. Be right back. Oh, Shucks, you've been hearing me brag about Shucks. Been going there for many, many years. Shucks does a great job. If you like seafood, you got to go to Shucks in Abbeville. I'm telling you right now, there's shrimp, there's oysters, there's fish, all fresh every day right off the boat. So if you want something fresh and you want fresh seafood, you got to go to Shucks. Don't forget, if you're having a party, call Shucks. Let them cater the event for you. Or you can go pick it up. Shucks, they're waiting on you. If you want a great time and you want great food, you got to go to Shucks in Abbeville. Shucks, oh, they're good.
If you've got some projects to do around the house and you need the voice of experience of local voice, somebody that can help you and knows Louisiana, you need to check out Stein Home and Yard. They're a Louisiana company founded, established here. They've been based here. Their story dates back all the way to 1946. Stein Home and Yard has all the things you need to make your house ready for fall. Great deals on fall plants like mums, as well as all sorts of handy items you need for your house. Need to upgrade your power tool game? They've got great deals on DeWalt power tools. They also have great deals on grills for your next tailgate for the big game this weekend. Traeger pellet grills, Weber grills, Charbroil, so many great brands, and it's all right there at your fingertips. Just pull them up, steinhome.com. Steinhome.com is where you need to go to find the greatest deals on your home improvement needs. Steinhome.com, a great Louisiana company.
The biggest complaint about solar power is the battery storage. Well, no more. Now, Solar Louisiana offers giant battery storage solutions from the top names like Panasonic, LG, and more. Solar Louisiana will install residential home solar systems with enough battery storage to get you through any outages. And say goodbye to your electric bill, as Solar Louisiana will custom fit a system to your electrical needs. Online at solarlouisiana.net. Your energy independence company, Solar Louisiana.
Attention high school sports fans, are you an armchair official? You know, the parent or fan who constantly yells at the referees and loves to let everyone know just how bad you think they are. Well, if you think you could do better, then get in the game and prove it. It's time for you to suit up and make the calls where they actually count. Every sport in Louisiana needs more officials. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Foundation Repair, 800-256-1010. Louisiana-owned Atlas Foundation Repair, 800-256-1010. Call Tony Arpino. I have known him for years. Glad to have you back, 844-766-6607, Matthew James Business Tax Reduction Hotline. Kind of getting a kick out of Trump wins, and then usually the party that gets slaughtered, panics. Democrats ought to panic. They don't have anything to run on anymore. Running on operations for 10-year-old little boys to be girls is not what you want to run on. It's just not what you want to run on. And it's crazy anyway, but that's just me. Well, the science backs me up, too. But I'm starting to see some funny things, So Scarborough announces Harris Law shows black and Hispanic men have race issues. They basically calling black and Hispanics racist. Thought they saved that for the white dudes. Oh no, if you vote like white people, you can be called that too now, especially by the left. Some of the stuff that's coming out now it's almost. I hate to say it, some of it becomes almost hilarious to watch the things they're saying now. Let me give you a couple more. Angel Reese. Angel Reese. I'm disappointed in America. Some of you just couldn't selfishly put your pride aside, huh? Reese is now, because she is a superstar and model and basketball player like LeBron James, they're going to come out and tell us, they were 20-some years old, don't know nothing about nothing. They're going to come out and tell us, I'm disappointed in America. You sound like Michelle Obama. Some of you just couldn't selfishly put your pride aside, huh? As a woman, I'm heartbroken for all of us. You ought to be happy. And you got a chance to make a lot more money with Trump in. Reese disappointed in the American people. I mean, she's an athlete now. She's making money. Well, she don't make a bunch of money as a basketball player, but she makes a bunch of money and other stuff, and they upset. What was the other one? Oh, here it is. Democrats retreat from transgender extremism after Trump win. You know what's sad, folks? Although I'm against it, if you're 18 years old and you want to go get a sex change operation, I'm not telling you anything. If you ask me personally, I'll give you my perspective on it. But if you don't care what I think, don't worry about it. I'm not going to tell you what I think. I don't care. You go enjoy yourself. You want to cut it off and add something to it, that's your choice. I'm not in your business. What we get attacked for is trying to defend kids between 10 and 18 with this operations. That's the only thing I'm upset about, that you're taking a kid who don't know what they want to do, who's reading social media, somebody's influencing them to say, well, you're not this way, so you must be the other way. And we got psychologists and all kind of people tell them that's where conservatives get upset about it. It's not somebody 18, 25, 35 decided Kris Jenner going to change his, quote, trans into a woman. Don't bother me none. Never bothered me one bit. Allowing kids to have this done, you don't know nothing at 10. Really, you don't know nothing until you get to be about 25 or so. There's always exceptions, of course. That's what we're upset about. And these people went so far. I mean, abortion. Listen, abortion got racked pretty much, okay? You know why? You got the presidential candidate out there wanting to kill a baby all the way in the 9th month. Now, I know people that believe in abortion. And I know people they believe in it in the first month or two. After they get past the first trimester, they don't think you ought to have to. You should have it. But what you have is these extremists take everything too far. The environmental movement, all that stuff. They just went too far. Democrats' obsession with abortion failed to deliver Harris a victory. Why? She's out there telling people kill a baby. And kill them anytime. I mean, that's what she's doing. That ain't no win. Most people don't believe in it. Their agenda has become so radical, it's un-American what the Democrats are doing. And I think when you see Hispanics and women and blacks and people move over to Trump, that's what's happened. They think you're nuts, and you are. We'll be right back. I've been bragging about Dino Hardwoods for a long time. My good friend Charles Altman, they do an excellent job. And if you're looking for unique or hard-to-find hardwood lumber, plywood, and molding, it's Dino Hardwoods. That's where you need to go. DinoHardwoods.com, DinoHardwoods.com. Trust Dino Hardwoods for all your hardwood lumber and cypress needs. With the holiday season fast approaching, as you know, a timeless handmade gift using quality lumber by Dino just means more. With 3 great locations to serve you now, Broussard, Louisiana, Shreveport, Louisiana, and now he's expanded in Tyler, Texas. Folks, there's something for every discerning woodworker at Dino. Go to DinoHardwoods.com, DinoHardwoods.com, and check out the unique and hard-to-find hardwood, lumber, plywood, and molding that you can't just find anywhere. Charles Altman, trust me, is not a better man in the business. He knows what he's doing, and he wants to service you. DinoHardwoods.com, DinoHardwoods.com.
My husband and I were invited to a 50th wedding anniversary. I noticed this little lady, and she was basically sitting alone. Her daughter turned to me just as I came over to introduce myself, and she said, "My mother has Alzheimer's." She had not said her daughter's name in 2 years. She didn't recognize her. I said, "Listen, we might be able to help her." And about 3 weeks later, they show up. We gave her 5 days of treatment. This lady, each day got a little better and a little better. She started flirting with the guys. She was so cute. My friend said, "You're smiling a lot." And she said, They make those here. The next day, says out loud, Martha, would you get me a cup of coffee, please? Her daughter, Martha, breaks down crying because her mother hadn't said her name in 2 years.
Learn more about treatment for Alzheimer's at SpringfieldWellnessCenter.com. Springfield Wellness Center.
If you're selling a bit,
this place has a pulse. You hear it in the canopy, feel it in the ground. Life, fully illuminated, engulfs you. From the birds singing in the treetops above to the tiniest insects in the soil below, you take a deep, cleansing breath, filling your lungs with the essence of the forest. Now, imagine it's all gone. Healthy, life-giving forests reduced to nothing. No singing birds, no lush canopy, and water and food in short supply around the world. Time is running out to protect our forests, and without our love, they can and will disappear. It's our choice. Love it or lose it. Help protect our forests. Visit World Wildlife Fund at wwf.org/love.
This hour brought to you by the Matthew James Tax Pros. Find them online at MatthewJamesTaxPros.com.
Hi, hello. Welcome back. Matthew James Business Tax Reduction Hotline, 844-766-6607. You can email me, moon@moongriffon.com. Just kind of reading, going through headlines, and then reading some of these stories. Trump made New Jersey a swing state. He got vote in the heart of Illinois. He won several parishes or counties that normally go Democrat. They also now blaming people like George Clooney for asking President Biden to step down. See, when they read those 81 million votes that he didn't get, that was mail-in ballots and stuffed ballots and rules that changed, they really think Biden would have won. Biden was going down. The worst thing, polls showed that Harris was more unpopular than Biden. Okay? Just, I mean, it just showed it. They didn't listen. She never won a Democrat primary, and thank God she's never won a United States position. The Harris campaign bragged that they knocked on 2.2 million doors in Pennsylvania. Trump campaign knocked on 0, yet Trump and him won. Oh, my God. Gee whiz. I wish they'd have knocked on my door. I'd have been glad to tell them a few things. So I'm just kind of curious about that. So they are, by the way, Kamala Harris, they spent $1 billion, went through it in a few months, and now they're saying that she's $20 million in debt. Her campaign's $20 million in debt. $20 million in debt. Jack Smith, the ex of the DOJ, that was the one that was trying to beat up on Trump. I'm telling you, they're trying to move anything away from what Trump's doing. It's amazing to run in. That's why I kind of got a kick out of Bill Cassidy. He's acting like he's a liberal Democrat. He's acting like he's a liberal Democrat. And then the celebrities. America has chosen to destroy itself. Trump was president for 4 years. I don't think we were destroyed. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe I missed some. Maybe I slept in 4 years. It's just kind of funny, man. And the Democrats are treating on trans extremism after Trump wins. See, that's what you do. You go run hide. You get away from who you are. You realize the Democrats didn't even campaign on who they were? They didn't. They had to hide that too. Still get a kick out of watching this. Biden, 81 million votes. And Obama, 65 and 69. And Harris and Hillary got less than 15 million votes. And than Biden. I don't care what anybody says. That's not coincidence. That was COVID. That was the mail-in ballot years. And let me tell you something. They took advantage of that, especially in the swing states. All 6 swing states that we're waiting for all went Biden at the end of the day. All 6 swing states knew how many votes they had. All 6 swing states stopped counting for a few hours. I mean, it's so obvious, nobody went after them. We didn't have the House or Senate. We had nobody to go do it. And they were mad at Trump because Trump was saying that we cheated him. They did cheat him. The proof's right there. The man didn't even campaign. They knew when they changed those rules and laws because of COVID. And I will say this, and you can get mad at me because I know people died of COVID. People die all the time. We die of diseases. We die of the viruses come along and kill people. So I'm not arguing with that. But a lot went around COVID. You know, we didn't treat COVID right. I mean, Ralph Abraham did a great job of explaining that, Dr. Abraham. Okay? We treated it politically because they took advantage and took COVID, and they made COVID a political virus. A virus should never be political. They made it a political virus, and the political virus was designed to get rid of Donald Trump. The 6-foot distance is a joke. The mask, total joke. And the mail-in ballots were never needed. And then states were correcting and changing stuff. I will give us credit, though. On the state of Louisiana, mail-in ballots better be there at 4:30 the day before the election. And they were counted first. I don't know if y'all noticed that. When they gave out election numbers early, if you read it, if you were able to go down and look at it, see precinct, the first numbers that you got, it would say early voting and absentee ballots is what you got now. And if you didn't pay attention to it, you think, oh, God, so-and-so's winning an election. They count. Nancy Landry was on this program. She is the Secretary of State, and she did a great job. She said, we count those votes during the day while the election's going on. That's the first ones they release. In Pennsylvania and Georgia and all the drop boxes they were bringing in, or if it's postmarked, and they found 5,000 ballots they were doing that, folks. You say, well, Moon, it's over, don't bring. Folks, understand what happened the last 4 years was because of cheating. We got an open border. We have no border. We got fentanyl killing 100,000, 200,000 people a year. When I read about some kid being raped in Kenner, Louisiana, 4-year-old boy, by somebody that's here illegal, it bothers me. We got another Supreme Court justice put on by Biden. He put more federal judges in than Trump did. Don't tell me. Look at the economy. Look what they did with debt. Look at the Green New Deal. They ushered all that in. We not respected on the world stage. China's using us like a yard dog. When I hear somebody, well, that's kind of, it's not over. They created the problem. They created hell on earth for the United States of America. That's why you got to investigate. That's why you got to have laws, and you got it, whether you like somebody or not, you got to do what's right. And our country didn't do what was right. And the left and the Democrats are so damn evil, and I throw the never Republicans in there too. They're so evil, and the swamp is so bad, they don't care about your families, for God's sakes. If they would have, we would have made sure votes were counted right, and all this stopping of votes and dropping these votes off when elections had long gone. They had shows put out about it. We just ignored it. And for 4 years, we've had to put up with hell. I don't know if it's reversible. We were sitting at, Obama took our national debt, he doubled it. He was bragging about the economy. That's how he kept the economy. He took up the national debt and they wouldn't raise interest rates. And by the way, his economy sucked. And folks, that's why America's worth fighting for. There's nowhere to go. There's nothing for us to do. If you let a Democratic Party get this evil, and they were evil, and these judges, and even Supreme Court, they don't want to hear nothing. They don't want to touch nothing. 81 million votes, 13 million more, 15 million more than Obama and them. None of that makes sense to me. And folks, don't say, I know more, well, man, good, he's president again. But 4 years of hell. 4 years of credit card debt, 4 years of running up debt, 4 years of losing your business. I mean, God have mercy. We got to, folks, 4 years of doing the wrong thing. You can call it what you want to. 4 years of having people lie to us and the media cover their rear ends, and they hurt America. You can say, that's treason. What they did was treason. It's treason. Is what it is. It's not respecting any laws, the country, and it goes back to what Barack Hussein Obama, Satan's brother, said. We want to fundamentally transform this country. 4 years on the back of 8 years of what Barack did. God, I'm praying for Trump and the leaders would do what's right. You know? It's treason. And it should have been stopped. We should have put everything on hold to check elections out. We ran through that election process so fast and just said, if Trump's wrong, these people don't know what they're talking about. Really? No way Biden got 81 million votes in an honest election. No way. No way. And we had to sit there and take it and be jabbed and lied to and debt run up and border. We don't have a border. And these next 2 months, they're going to get as many people in here as they can. This is what Barack Obama wanted. He was a hate America guy, and he still is, and so is these other people. I'm just being blunt, folks. There's no way that happened. All right, when we get back, a little word salad from Kamala. I won't play it all because it'll drive you crazy. And your calls always welcome. 844-766-6607. Listening to the Moon Griffon Show. Nestled in gently rolling hills in North Louisiana is a place that produces the finest Louisiana wines around, Landry Vineyards. This place is phenomenal. Not only are they passionate about growing wine grapes and making Landry Vineyards wine, they also have cottages and RV sites you can rent, tours, and live music on Saturdays and tastings Monday through Saturday. Available in over 650 stores throughout Louisiana, I encourage you to visit and try Landry wine direct from Landry Vineyards. This is another great Louisiana company that has my full support, and they're Louisiana certified. A red blend they labeled Bayoutage, Blackberry Merlot, Cabs, Rosé, Petite Syrah, dry and sweet whites, and many, many other wines. Learn more about their wines and their vineyard online at LandryVineyards.com. This is Moon Griffon. My lovely bride and I love the wines from this great Louisiana company, Landry Vineyards, and so will you. Go visit their beautiful winery and find them in your local grocery store. If they don't have Landry Vineyards wine, ask and ask again. LandryVineyards.com. Woo, good wine right here.
It started with direct messages. That's how they got to my son. Gavin was just 17 and looking forward to college. He was contacted by online predators pretending to be a teenage girl. He was the victim of sexual extortion. In less than 2 hours after that first message, Gavin died by suicide. It's a pain I don't want any other parent to feel. Social media is causing an epidemic of bullying, anxiety, and depression, and it's leaving kids vulnerable to the kind of predators that targeted my son. We have to hold big tech accountable and pass the Kids Online Safety Act. I couldn't protect my son, but now it's my mission to make sure all kids are protected. I'm a father and a proud conservative, and I'm here to tell Speaker Johnson, pass the Kids Online Safety Act, because nothing is more important than protecting our kids.
Paid for by Issue One Action, which is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. Issue1action.org.
Everywhere you turn.
Bikers Against Child Abuse, BACA, exists with the intent to create a safer environment for abused children. We exist as a body of bikers to empower children to not feel afraid of the world in which they live. We stand ready to lend support to our wounded friends by involving them with an established, united organization. If you'd like to know more about BACA, please visit our website at bacaworld.org or call 1-866-71-ABUSE.
Since 1971, Louisiana Endowment for the Humanities has reached out to scholars, institutions, and local communities to enrich our shared culture. Want to know more about LEH and the rich culture of Louisiana? Visit leh.org for more information or to donate.
Hi, y'all. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. What a day. Great day to be with you on a Friday Eve. I can't believe it's already Friday tomorrow. Wow. Time goes by when you're having fun. And we are having fun now. One quick thing, and I'll take a call, and I want to play one Kamala Harris, just a little word salad, folks, that she said the whole campaign. In 2019, 2020, 2020 COVID came in and changed the election, no doubt about it. But we had a lot of people die. We had a lot of people voting age die, and yet we had so many more people go vote. How could that? I thought everybody was dying, and we were losing people left and right. And just none of that should happen. But I just think that we blew that. That was blown away. The media blew us away. People were running. We focused on stuff like Dominion voting machines, and that was the wrong thing to focus on. What we should have focused on was the mail-in ballot and how many rules and laws had changed, and how the courts would not back up what they should have backed up, and it was taken away from President Trump, and we lost 4 years basically going through hell. It might have been 4 prosperous years. Our border, just think if the border wall was built, and we wouldn't have had all these people come across. We got some people killed and raped that wouldn't have been killed in rape. We got people that live in our communities, got their kids in our schools. They're going to the emergency rooms. They're getting money and checks. They were put up in hotels and paid for by the federal government. We spent trillions of dollars on them. I'm just literally wasted money, and which ran our food prices up, ran our home prices up, ran our car prices up. This is devastating. We didn't even fight to protect our elections. I don't, because we worried somebody might say, well, you just a nut. It don't make any sense to me, folks. It don't make any sense to me. Maybe it makes sense to y'all. It don't make any sense. And we just kind of roll on in the sunset, and Trump's a nut, and then January 6th happened, which is still not a big deal in the big picture. And they're making it a big deal. So, I don't know. I just felt like that needed to be brought up. I feel like stuff's coming up now, but 4 years of federal judges, I'm talking about progressive, just as bad on everything as Kamala Harris. Speaking of that, real quick, Walker, you got it ready to go. This was her the whole campaign. And I'm going to have to quit. I ain't going to be able to play it long because it's going to drive you as crazy as I did. And if anybody wants to help me, please email me what she's talking about. I have no idea what this woman's talking about. Here we go.
I can imagine what can be and be unburdened by what has been. What can 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 be unburdened by what has been. What we can see, what we believe can be unburdened by what has been. What 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 can be unburdened by what has been. Who we can be unburdened by who we have been. What can be unburdened by what has been. Where we can be, unburdened by where we have been, and unburdened by where we are right now. What can be.
All right, Walker. I can't. That's 3 minutes long. All right, Walker, you 23 years old. Are you? 22? Okay. You know what you're talking about? I thought maybe this was some young thing on the internet stuff. You don't have a clue? Anybody knows what this woman was talking about? If you do, please email me, moon@moongriffon.com. You can call. I just need to know. Man, we got a call on right here. He might know. Norman, you know what this woman was talking about? Because, boy, you could explain this, what this woman was talking about. You could help me out. You could help me out a lot, brother.
I'll answer your question if you give me a little bit of my time when I'm done. The best I got out of that was, in my opinion, and not what she was thinking, leave my ass alone. But I don't think that's what she was thinking.
I don't. You're not getting any. Hey, I was thinking about giving some pecans out to somebody could tell me, but that don't fit. So go with what you had to say real quick.
That answer on it. That answer on no pecans. No, when you talk, Moon, I generate questions. First of all, you mentioned two things a little while ago. I'm always a segment or two behind. You mentioned celebrities and Kamala's debt.
Yeah.
First of all, if I was a celebrity, I've got a guy that's a musician, that's a bartender. I said, I'm going to ask him about this Sunday night when I see him. But every nickel that a celebrity, I'm talking about artists, actors, singers, rap artists, and all these people, every nickel that they have is generated by disposable income.
Yep.
If everything that the progressive want to do, ain't nobody going to have no disposable income.
None.
I'm just saying.
By the way, they brag about the price of inflation. Obama even go, prices are going to be higher. Well, that means I ain't going to be able to do as much as I want to, Barack.
That's right. I don't subscribe to many papers anymore. Don't hardly ever go to the movies.
Yep.
Now, and, I'm just saying. Then the next thing is, you're talking about Kamala's debt. Well, isn't it time to put your money where your mouth is? Here I am, this big Hollywood type. Oh, I'm giving money. Well, I gave some money to Kamala. Well, could I go ahead and finish paying off her debt? Yep. We'll see, won't we?
Yep, no doubt. Look, I got to go. Thank you for the call. Two quick things.
Okay. More tomorrow.
Okay.
More tomorrow. Bye.
Jennifer Bertrand, Lake Charles wins the pecan. Jennifer Bertrand, congratulations. Somebody says this quote is from Karl Marx about abandoning capitalism. Okay, I'm not saying that person's right or wrong, and I've heard something along those lines, but please help me on Kamala. I mean, I'd love for you to help me because I can't. I'm not smart enough to figure it out. Jennifer Bertrand, thank you. Congratulations. You are the winner of the pecan.
The Moon Griffon merchandise store is now open. Go to moongriffon.com right now and click on merchandise. There you'll find men's tees, ladies' tees, polos, fishing shirts, lounge pants, hats, and more. Through November 15th, a portion of the proceeds will benefit the Cajun Navy hurricane relief efforts. Show your love for the Moon Griffon Show by purchasing some Moon Griffon merch. Go to moongriffon.com right now and click on merchandise.
Our state is facing a budget shortfall, left over by the last governor. Jeff Landry in the legislature already cut $2 billion for spending we don't need. Now they have to deal with this shortfall, but they've got a plan to deal with that and move Louisiana forward. This is what Governor Landry said.
This Louisiana Forward Plan, when fully implemented by the legislature and ratified by the people of this state, will produce more jobs, a greater prosperity, lower our taxes, and bring us a sustainable budget.
This plan cuts taxes for the middle class and all taxpayers, with the income tax rate dropped to just 3%. Job creators can grow the economy with lower taxes. Families and senior citizens, no more prescription drug sales tax. a different tax system which focuses on choices, not labor. And the Louisiana voters, we get the final say. Fixing the shortfall, cutting taxes, growing our economy, now that's moving Louisiana forward. Paid for by Protect Louisiana Values.
For the absolute best in local Cajun food, check out Prejean's in their 2 locations in Carencro and Broussard today.